Incredible! This is
the Grove Podcast.
I'm going to go.
Good. I can't believe we're laughing in the start of this pod. I feel like crying. But anyway, hello, my name is Tabs, and welcome to episode 172 of the Grove Podcast. Now, thank you for listening, and we do really appreciate the fact that you are listening, because I know many of you don't want to listen to podcasts or engage with any content after defeats like the 2-1 home defeat we had and suffered yesterday to Bournemouth. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but we are here for the bad times as well as the good. And hey, at least one player, well, former Arsenal player, got to lift a trophy today as Jack Wilshere's Luton won the EFL trophy. So well done, Jack. And look, it could be a lot worse. You could be a Tottenham fan or a Chelsea fan after that piss poor anemic clown club of a nonsense performance, but I know that's scant consolation. And we are recording this straight after City's 3-0 win over, as I said, the very anemic Chelsea Football Club. But what do you expect? What do you expect from them and their middle manager? But it is a little concerning. and joining me today to either help me or help us lift the mood a bit, or to bring us down with all the concerns, which are and either way, I'm here for it all day. So, but we'll see. Is Andy? What flavour bleach was it you were drinking?
It was a Domestos special, mate, limited edition, straight from the top shelf of Asda.
Yeah. Anyway, how are you doing despite all this? You good?
Yeah, not too bad. Yesterday's probably one of the most difficult days of supporting Arsenal in the last 5 years. No, sorry, I'm not supporting Arsenal in the last 5 years. In the last 5 years of supporting Arsenal, sorry. I've honestly been speechless. And I thought when I woke up, I was kind of was down at the game yesterday, flew home last night. I thought, you'll wake up and you'll feel better. I actually feel worse, and it's not because of the City result.
Well, no, actually, the best part of the day is that first 10 seconds where you can't remember anything from the day before, then suddenly the realisation, oh shit.
No, honestly, yeah. So I'm looking forward to you both make me feel better.
Well, we'll try. And both, by that means, joining us is Kuziva. How are you? Long time no see. How are you doing?
It has been a while.
I saw you yesterday, but long time no see on the pod.
It has been a while. Glad to be back. Obviously, quite annoyed by yesterday, but it's okay. It's okay. We are still 6 points ahead. I know City have a game in hand. It could be worse. It really could be worse. Okay. It might be worse next weekend. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, look, it is. No, I'm not going to say it is what it is. No, it's. But let's jump straight into it. So, my first, and look, we will follow the format, but I've got a fair few questions. And jumping straight into it, are we proving the haters right, Andy?
Yeah, well, that's a very strong start. But I mean, I remember a couple of weeks ago, Tabs. I can't remember the game, but it was maybe 6 weeks ago. It was pre-City, and I said something about the narrative, and you came back to me and you said, "Fuck the narrative." And I am sorry, but I kind of didn't push back at the time, and I accepted it. But within 15 minutes yesterday, it is clear the narrative is in these players' legs. It is in their minds, and it is in, there's been too many occasions now this season where we've had an opportunity to either put pressure on or to go further ahead after a City defeat or draw the day before, and we've just not taken it. I can count, obviously, yesterday.
The Wolves 2-2.
Wolves 2-2, Nottingham Forest 0-0.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we didn't score any goals against Liverpool this season when they have their pants down for just about everyone is quite concerning. Man City in the cup final, we didn't show up. Obviously, no points on up for grabs there, but this doesn't necessarily matter. Changing competitions, I don't know. It seems to be with the minute that there's a slight element of extra added pressure beyond a usual game, we seem to just retreat within something, and that's something that, as you said, the haters have kind of said for years now, and I know most of us have always pushed back on, because I don't think up until now there's always been reasons that you can say that we haven't bottled something, but I think if we let it go from here, I think we have proven them right in thinking that we were going to do it the whole time.
Kuziva?
Yeah, we are proving the haters wrong. I mean, right, sorry. But I think we should also look at the season as a whole and how it's arguably one of the most random and difficult seasons out there. The data backs it, the eye test back it. Like we just saw Liverpool win their second game in, I don't know, like 2 months or a month and a half or something ridiculous like that. Spurs are currently sitting, in the relegation zone. This is the first time since the 70s. It's just super random. And obviously that's not an excuse. And I still believe that we'll take it at the end of the season because of how random it is, because of the fact that City, even though it seems like they've locked in inverted commas, they are actually still behind us. Like 3 years ago, a year ago, the City would have won the league by now with the way we play. So I think we are proving the haters wrong when you look at the narrative, but then it's just, it's a fucking difficult season, honestly. Like it really is.
Yeah, I mean, not excuses. There are reasons for it, but no, I don't like the word bottle. Yeah, just because I know they're trying and they want it and stuff like that. But yeah, it does feel like the pressure, and it's just a very pejorative word to mean that the pressure's got to you and you're not performing under the pressure. Again, it's like I keep referring back to Clive Woodward and his teacup, thinking clearly under pressure type thing. So, and we don't seem to be handling that, and I think it's a whole culmination of things. We've talked about it not having a consistent 11 and the injuries taking their toll type thing, and but then also there's the haters and the narrative around set piece FC. You could see yesterday how desperate we were for set pieces because we were creating absolute jack in open play, and so the crowd gets excited whenever you almost get a corner. We get so disappointed when we should have had a corner, and then and so there's all that set piece FC stuff, and look, we embrace it, we enjoy it, and look, if we win the league as a result of it, no one's going to give two shits. But it does feel like the two stories around us not having the mettle to get over the line, and irrespective of what's expected of the reasons, and we may touch on those, and to the fact that we are massively reliant on set pieces. So I hate to say it's trending in that direction, shall we say. So at the moment we have to suck it up and we have to say, you're absolutely right. At this very moment in time, it feels like this is the trajectory we're on, and there's not a lot we can say in response, to be honest, as much as we hate to say it.
So if you don't like the word bottle tabs, what do you call this? I'm sorry, like what?
No, I mean, no, I don't like the word. Yeah, it's more the not performing under pressure. So yes, you can encapsulate that under bottling. I think
it's a colloquial term for like what we are now.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't like that. I just don't like that term. But yes, it is. It's I'd rather. Yeah, it's just a thing. I don't like it as I push back against it. But yes, it's a very shorthand word for not performing under pressure and not succeeding when the opportunity's there, and the fear and something there and something. Yes, it's basically something mentally is stopping you from taking the opportunity that was in front of you, because I'm sure they all want it and they all train for it. No one's going there like thinking, oh, we don't want to do this, but there's something. The things we don't know, because is it something to do with the way the structure is done? So are we so beholden to the structure that actually maybe they want to do something, but they're so embedded to a structure that they can't sort of thing. Like there was a perfect example of this potentially yesterday where Havertz was on the touchline in the first half, like 5 yards inside the Bournemouth half, and it was free, and someone had the ball, and it felt like they weren't going to pass to him because our rest defence might not have been in place, or something might not have been in place, so our structure didn't mean they passed it. But eventually someone got the ball, he was still free, they passed to him, but then by the time that happened, Bournemouth player went in and tackled him, and he said, well, if you'd have just passed to him first time, but it just feels like, so is it a mental thing? is it the structure and the instruction that's stopping us? And that's why and look, we are so severely out of form. So there's all these multiple factors that I think the reason maybe I push back a bit on bottling, because I think there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
But from the outside, there's it. But yeah, fine.
However you dress it up, the outcome's the same though, isn't it? Like it doesn't. For me, it doesn't really. Like, it's not all about outcome, but I think when you take away a style of play, and to be clear, I don't think, like, if Arteta had his choice, he would want to play this way, but for some reason he's being led down this path of being more and more conservative. I think ideally he would want to play the way we did in those first 3-4 months of the 22-23 season. We were free flowing, we were open, we were starting from. Do you not remember? You go back to those seasons, and we would come out the traps flying. Like first 10-15 minutes, we would be all over these teams, and I just don't like. Fair enough, you can disagree with the word bottle, but I think
it's not. I don't disagree. I understand it. I just don't like it. This is a personal thing. No, I don't disagree with it. Sorry.
Because just add on to what Tab said about bottling. So I think structure plays a big part. Because I was chatting to one of my mates this past week, and he says that we need the mentality. These guys need the mentality to just win it. And I reminded him that these guys are part of the 0.001%. Their mentality is already elite, right? If any of our players go to a City, go to a Bayern Munich, granted that they are the best teams in those leagues, they are going to win. And it's not going to be hard for them to win because they are elite. Semenyo moving from Bournemouth to City and doing what he's doing is a testament of an elite mentality. So I don't think that these guys are feeling, oh my God, something's going to happen. I'm losing. Yeah, I don't know, psychologically, I'm not ready for this. I think it's the structure. Like yesterday we saw it. It was like a like-for-like play of what happened against City. And their manager literally said, I just copied City, right? And our team is so used to the structure. And if we do bottle it, it's not going to be because of mentality. It's going to be because Arteta is too rigid in his system and he's not trying to change anything. That's how I believe it.
Yeah, you put everything that happened yesterday on the manager and not the player.
A bit of both, because I'm sure that he said himself there's times that no, that's not what I want the players to do. So I think that it's a combination of things. I think maybe on the players it's more, and I think we said this before, they're more fearful of what they might lose as opposed to hopeful of what they might win, if you see what I mean. And that changes something. Instead of you protecting something, which is a different mentality to going to get something. And I think we're caught between the two. And I think Arteta's more going to get it, but on this structure, and the players are sort of like, I don't know if they have the freedom to operate around those structures, or we don't have the players to operate around the outside of those structures as well, because do we have certain players that will say, fuck this, I'm going to take this by the scruff of the neck, or no, the way we've been told to win this game is as a unit, and this is how we do it collectively.
I think we do have the players. It's the system. This is like evident that it's a system that this guy wants, and the players are just too scared to fall out of that system. Andy, I'm pretty sure you feel the same way as me. I love Darman, I love Max, but I'm worried that he's going to get coached out after his freedom. I'm worried about.
Yeah,
and that's a system thing, not a player, an individual player thing.
I struggle when they're saying things like, we're an elite mentality. They're definitely, skill wise, they're definitely elite players, and yes, they're an elite mentality to get to this point. But to take that next step and win a title and win a major honour, it takes something else. And if you're then saying to me, Tabs, that they're too scared to lose than they are to realise the opportunity of winning, that is not an elite mentality. And you cannot. I was sitting there yesterday in that first half, and I watched Zubimendi pass the ball out of play. I watched Havertz, and there's a 5-yard pass to Martinelli, and I'm sorry, they have the technical level to make that pass 99 times out of 100. So the fact that they are not doing it suggests that there's an incredible pressure that they don't have the mentality potentially to deal with. So I cannot push back further on that. I do not know how you can explain it. Fair enough, yes, there's a physicality, it's been a long season, we've played probably the most games in the Premier League. There's probably reasons that you can put at the manager's door, maybe we should have rotated earlier, blah, 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 blah. But 20 minutes into a Premier League game, I cannot find a reason as to how he's playing that pass out of play.
Yeah, no, and I understand what Kuziva is saying in terms of elite mentality, because they have to be. But now it's it's the next bit that they're falling back on. And we saw it against Southampton, couldn't make 5-yard passes, and this is maybe. We know they've got the technical ability, and this is maybe, you're right, it's a form thing, and I think form is often in the head rather than the body, because the body, they say class is permanent, form is temporary, and at the moment we are just so out of form, so you don't trust your own ability. You're so basically, when you're confident, you're in form, everything is free flowing, you just hit it and you know it's going to work, and you hit it and move, you don't even think about it. This is where the issue is. We're thinking, I think, so much about it. We're not free to play. This is where the pressure. We're not free mentally to do things, to go for things, or just do the basics. And I think we've talked about it. Let's get back to the basics. And that sometimes when and there's no reason. Sometimes form just goes out the window and then happens. And look, to use the golfing analogy, everyone was saying about Rory McIlroy, oh look, he won the Masters and now he's free to play and he's now six ahead. Then the next day, bang, he's like, and it can just be something, and it's really hard to pick it back up. And there's that whole thing that Arteta Wenger said that form goes up the stairs but comes down the lift sort of thing, and or confidence or worse to that effect sort of thing. So I think it's multiple things. I think just something is that we're just so out of form. They don't trust their ability. They don't trust what they're doing. Even Raya yesterday, we on the pod beforehand, and me and Mitch would just say, "Oh my God, how good was Raya? How good was he here? How much we trust him? He's our player of the season." And then all of a sudden, what the hell happened to him yesterday? And that's the pressure of getting to you, and we just can't. We're not handling the pressure, and if we want to call it bottling it, fine, we'll call it bottling it. So go on.
No, I hope beyond anything that yes, I know we've talked about reset points and jumping off points for the past 6 weeks now, but I hope beyond anything that yesterday is just that wake up call, because the last thing, I think I was reading a few messages in that Grove group chat earlier, and I was just like, it feels like there's a few people who are buzzing at what they are going to see. They're kind of waiting for the wheels to fall off just so that they can kind of sit there and go,
I was right.
I was right. And that is not the way that you should support a football club. And I just hope beyond all hope that we get over this line, because I think it's not about deserving it, but we've been through the ringer. We have to constantly deal with it from the media and everything like that. And I would love nothing more than to just put this bottle thing away. But as the weeks kind of march on and the games are chalked off, it feels like, to your point, Tabs, we're almost proving them right, and it's fucking heartbreaking.
It is. It's well, this was what I'm going to say. We'll get onto the Bournemouth game in a second. The Bournemouth game, but the sort of details of the Bournemouth game. But how did you feel? So, Kuziva, how did you feel before the game, immediately after the game, and now 24 hours later? And then to top it all off, Man City doing what they did. What was sort of like your journey through the last sort of 24 hours?
So before the game, I was obviously confident. I know that Bournemouth had worked on an unbeaten streak, whatever the case is. Immediately after the game, I hoped until the very last end. I was arguably okay, and I'll tell you why. So I've been doing a lot of work, like personal development work, psychology, neuroscience, and I now, when Arsenal lose, I disassociate from that. I'm not losing, Arsenal's lost. And when you tell yourself that Arsenal's lost, not you, it helps you process things easier, because what's happened with us as football fans is that we've now merged our identities with our football club. This is arguably one of the longest relationships we'll have in our lives, maybe even longer than our parents, because they'll die before, we die a lot of the time. So we are
I didn't have that in my show notes, by the way.
We are one with this club. And I think when I see the reactions in the chat, it's simply because Arsenal has become our identity. And I get it. It's like I get it because it's part of our community. It makes us happy, it makes us sad, but it also is unhealthy to have an identity link to something that you cannot control. So as we were ending up in the last few minutes, I was like, I'm not losing, Arsenal's losing. Okay. And I'll tell the guys around me, and then one of the other guys started saying it, and then we stuck around. Eze came, he clapped around where we were standing, and we chatted shit, enjoyed like the last bits of hanging out, and I made my way. Walked 18 Ks yesterday, which was also great.
Wow.
So that's how I felt. And then today, after City, frustrating, but again, I think the processing I did yesterday helped today, and yeah, I'm ready for the run in. Like, let's go toe to toe.
Okay, very, very good. That's very mature of you. Well done. Because I think there's a lot of people that would not be acting like that at all. I think I want to go to Andy, and then I think I'm going to be the in between the two of you somewhere along the line. So.
I usually feel like I'm quite balanced, but honestly, my head is on Mars after yesterday. I don't know if it's maybe a combination of being at the game, being shattered. I flip. But to be honest, like, I think going into the game, I wasn't miles away from where Kuziva was. I thought we would win. I wasn't like 100% confident we would win, but I was like, do you know what? A few weeks off. We played well on Tuesday. Let's like we've talked about those reset points. Maybe like kind of the Southampton game was the reset point. Let's go in. And let's put ourselves in the best driving seat possible and go 12 points ahead. But I'm not going to lie, in a minute, I seen that lineup, I was concerned. Probably for the same reasons that we've all probably discussed it multiple times. The front three don't really work together. They never really have. And Havertz in behind them, he just doesn't offer that enough like speed or technical security to be able to get you up the pitch. I say that, but each one of those players is also a big space player. They thrive in open spaces, taking on their men, getting isolated against their fullback. And Bournemouth didn't come in and bank up and do the deep low block thing. They came in, like Kuziva said, they've done the exact same thing as City. They pressed us. So in theory, they should have actually it should have actually worked to our favour. But yeah, it kind of, and maybe it is like a tiredness thing, maybe it is more of the mentality thing, but it was quite clear after kind of 10-15 minutes that they were going to slow the game down and let the crowd build and build and build. The keeper was taking, I noticed the keeper was slowing things down, as they have every right to do. He was slowing things down, and I just got this like sheer like vein of panic. And maybe it was standing next to Moz, who is probably even more off the deep end.
Yeah, oh my god, that doesn't help anyone. That doesn't help anyone follow us. Just standing next to Moz.
And I was kind of like, and then it was kind of gradually getting built on by the Ben White taking ages over throw-ins, MLS taking ages over throw-ins, but yeah, immediately after, I kind of said it at the start, Tabs. I was gutted. Like, I think the only time I can think of walking away from that stadium feeling slightly similar was when Villa beat us 2-0 with that Ollie Watkins kind of dunk, I think 2 or 3 seasons ago. But yesterday just felt way worse, and I think it's just the cumulative effect of the past couple of seasons. Like, that was probably, what was that, 23-24 it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was that season where we had the great run. It was it was the pre-Bayern Munich semi-final. Trossard misses from a yard out, or amazing save. Yeah, Smith Rowe gives the ball away on the halfway line, and they get the second sort of thing. So yeah,
I think the only reason yesterday kind of felt worse is it feels like it's been in the post for a wee bit, like, in the same way that we'd won like so many games and we were rocking up to away stadiums and putting 5 and 6 past teams, where we haven't had the benefit of that this time. So it has always kind of felt like it's been this undercurrent of like, oh, something's coming, and then we had the cup final, we had the FA Cup game last week, so I think that's why it just felt so much worse. And just finally on that, I think it feels so much worse, to Kuziva's point at the start, because City aren't the City of the team that they were back then. They are so fallible. Like, they played well today. Well, they played well for like 20 minutes. Like,
Yeah. That's it.
Well, there's 20 more than we played. So that's fine. That's all it takes.
I said to one of the other group chats, I was like, compare the 15 minutes after half time in the City game compared to us. It is night and day. And that is ultimately, I think, why I was so like despondent walking away from that stadium yesterday, because I was like, we're not even making it. Like, they're not winning game after game after game after game. They might do now, but they haven't been. They're not this like juggernaut that they have been, but we're still letting this pressure get to us.
Yeah, I think on that point, again, the club themselves, they've been through this before, so they know what it takes. And look, if you look at their record in April compared to ours, and their record in April and May compared to ours, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And but the thing is, they went through their period of bad form. And we're out of form now. They were out of form in the new year. So when they were drawing to Chelsea, drawing to Brighton, okay, even just before the Carabao Cup final, drawing to Forest, and stuff. But now they're hitting form, so it is all about form. And if all they need to do against Chelsea is play well for 20 minutes, because once it's 3-0, bang, the game's over. So they don't have to worry about it afterwards. And all we're hoping for is O'Reilly. That's a hamstring injury, and I was hoping Rodri's knee was fucked. But yeah, unfortunately, Rodri got up. Maybe O'Reilly is injured, but hamstring, and that would be a bonus because he can't stop scoring at the moment. So it's a form thing. It's a form, and they're playing with a freedom, because as individuals may not have been there, done that, but as a club they are, and that feeds through. And I heard someone say yesterday, I know what Arteta was saying about before the match, bring your dinner, bring everything, trying to get the crowd up, because we know 12:30 kickoffs are quiet, they're hard, there's just always a bit of a low murmur, and it's just there's low energy games. So I can understand he's getting that, but I did hear someone say, well, is he putting too much on the occasion big, and just like, it's just another game, Bournemouth, tick, whatever, tick, instead of 7 cup finals. And it just feels everyone's, he wasn't being emotional, because when he did the interview, he said it with a joke, and I know why he was doing it. It was like, paraphrasing some manager from the 80s or whatever sort of thing. So, and he was trying to get the crowd up, but I don't know, does that feed into the players, and is everything a bloody occasion? Can we what was great at the beginning of the season, there's some of the games that we won, but I have no recollection of it. And good, we won 2-0. Who cares? Move on. Yeah, it's not an occasion. It's just 3 points. Now, it all feeds into this, and dealing with it is this thing of the occasion. But I think before the game, I was apprehensive. Just because maybe I'm always apprehensive. 7 games to go, but I'm still confident. I thought we'd carry the result from Sporting into this game, but I knew it wouldn't be easy. I mean, Bournemouth renowned for their pressing and pushing hard and just running, and knowing who we are at the moment, not sure that would suit us. And then talking about after the game, I'm normally quite sanguine after a game. I just sort of like, that's not great, but I don't go full depression. I was numb and I was sad. I said I was just sad. I don't get angry. I'm not an angry person that comes to football. I was just sad. It's like, are we really, letting this get away from us again? We're faltering at the final hurdle, and it just feels like, we don't deserve it, but bloody hell, second 3 times in a row, I do think we deserve it, and I just want nice things for us. And there's no harm, there's no skin off City's nose if they let us win it this season. Just go away. Let's win it, But then last night I went out with the family to the cinema, and by the end of the film I was bloody grumpy and so miserable. I was like, and unfortunately did get into an argument about absolutely nothing on the way home, because I just could not tolerate anything at
that. Make that separation.
Well, you say that, and everyone does it, and everyone has to deal with the way that they deal with it. But we invest so much time, so much energy, so much effort, so much fucking money as well into this that it is hard to decouple it. And I try not to. It doesn't rule me full stop. So I'm not going to be like fully, oh my God, we've lost. I can't function. But it will affect my mood because of the amount of effort, energy, investment, and care. We care about this thing because we want it so much. So if you didn't care about it, because we had another chat yesterday. We dropped Moz. Moz was in the car with us yesterday, so it was much more fun when we were fourth because it didn't matter and we don't have the ups and downs. But because we care, and that's why we have the reaction that we do. I don't know. Yeah,
and look, as I said, this is quite literally one of the oldest relationships we'll ever have with anything in this world. We're gonna care, right? It's going to be painful, but it's a tricky one.
But everyone has to process it their own way, and that's fine. And so you can't let people have their feelings, and that's fine. You're never going to police that sort of thing. So onto the game. You touched on it, Andy, about the lineup. So there was no Saka, Ødegaard, Calafiori, Timber still, a bit concerning. Hincapié and Eze on the bench, which was positive. But I don't know if we're saving them or they really can't play, but if we're saving them for what? Now is the time. But, and I guess the team was the best we had given the squad and the injuries. I think the only one I might have changed was have Mosquera in rather than Ben White, because Ben White, 3 games in a row, it's not who he is at the moment. There was the fear about Lewis Skelly as well. And I think it's more about, just he's not been performing great recently, rather than the person. But I think he had a good relative game yesterday. But I don't know. I mean, you've given your thoughts, Andy. Kuziva, what did you think about that lineup? Any concerns? Would you have done anything different given the state of the squad?
I wouldn't have done anything different, but I agree with what Andy said earlier. That front three, we're all worried about that front three. They just don't work well together. So I think one of the first things most of us noticed when we saw this lineup, it's like, fuck, okay, let's hope that today is the day that they click. Besides that, I also thought that maybe he is saving Ødegaard. I hope that's the case. Just not on the lineup, but we definitely missed Timber. Timber for a good 6 months was like top 10 player in Europe, quite literally, through FOTMob, who scored. And he's been out for a bit now. Obviously he got tired and then his form started dipping, and now he's just been out. And it's tough not having him around as an option. But fuck, I hope we're saving Ødegaard. And
it's more Saka. I think it's Saka and Timber, because I think even I think they were saying, they were close for Sporting game, and they're not on the bench now. So again, it's that real tough one, because okay, you play them now, then they're out for further 3 weeks. And look, we don't know the ins and outs of how bad they are. And at this stage of the season, everyone is sort of slightly injured to a certain extent, but some more than others. But I think you're right. Look, I think it was the best we could do. Okay, because even Trossard, I'm sure he's carrying something. So who else would starting Dowman? I still think as much as he can offer. You even saw yesterday they managed to shut him down. Okay, he looked busy, but would you start him over Madueke? And the other one, the one I would have liked to see, because I thought Mosquera was quite nice when he came on, but then again, Bournemouth was sitting back, so it's hard. But I would have started Mosquera, and the rest of it is what it is. So as for the game, like, I don't know, the stats, they sort of flatter us a bit. We had 52% possession to their 48, 2.3 XG to their 1.19, but I'm sure 0.8 of our XG was the penalty. We had 15 shots to their 8, 3 on target to their 3. We had 5 big chances to their 2. We've missed 4 big chances. Our passing accuracy, 81%. That's not something. We had 10 corners, but if you look at I sort of also got the momentum or whatever. It was very even across the two teams. But Kuziva, what did you make of the actual performance itself, how we played out the game, how we approached the game.
It was frustrating from the get-go. It didn't feel like, as much as I was optimistic in the beginning, it didn't feel like we were going to win after 10 minutes. And when I saw the Bournemouth attackers just not pressing our back line, I was like, shit. This is the City game all over again. It's mid-blocks have always been our kryptonite, and now fucking Pep has figured it out and added passive mid-block to this, which means that if we can't distribute from the back with Raya, we kick it forward. When we kick it forward, there's no one winning the second ball, which is why our two midfielders lost so many balls. I think the most they've ever lost in the last 2-3 seasons.
Oh yeah. I've got a statistic on that. So yeah, carry on. I'm really annoyed, and that's why, Andy, as much as the players, they need to make the basic passes. Like I 100% agree with that, but I'm really annoyed that Arteta didn't learn from what happened to the City, because if he did learn from that and he saw that this is how these guys have set up, he would have tweaked the team, right? And would have probably played differently. I don't know how. I'm not a manager. But that's what I expected. But the fact that we just didn't change throughout the game and we just continued playing the same way, it is a bad day out. Like, genuinely, I did not enjoy any of that.
I haven't got this. I was just going to say, I think the only way that you can change it is you go that bit longer. Because, I mean, personally, I looked at the City game and I was like, right, well, they did that to us, but we didn't have our kind of elite distributor goalkeeper in the back line. But we had him there yesterday, and the same thing still happened. And the only thing that I can think of that you do is you put Havertz up top and you go longer, but you've already got Havertz on the pitch, so what do? Put Gyökeres on the left, Gyökeres in centre attacking mid. Like, we then made changes in the second half all at once, which completely destabilised the team. Not that it was that stable to be to start off with, but it just we lost 15 minutes in the middle of that second half just by trying to figure out what we were doing. And you took Havertz off, and then he brought on the players. Like, I think when I was sitting there, when I was watching it, I was like, he brought on Dauman and Trossard, who are both kind of technical ball retainers, and he swapped out the kind of bigger space, faster runners. And I'm like, I think he should have started with one and then brought one of them on. Do you know what I mean? You start with Trossard if you're playing Madueke. If you're playing Dauman, you play Martinelli. But you can't.
Gyökeres and Martinelli have never blended at all.
No. I thought Gyökeres yesterday was our best player. Like, I thought he was really, really, really good. For the effort he put in for I mean, he obviously missed that huge chance at the end, and then the explanation kind of made me laugh, because it took me back immediately to Ty saying it was too wet when he said that. I was like, oh God, please don't let this happen. But I mean, you said Kuziva, like, he should have learned, and like that was one of the things that Arteta was always so good at. He would respond to defeats. He would learn to respond to tactical innovations that came up against him, and that was always one of the things you were like, right, well, the football isn't great, but God, we are pretty resilient, and we do seem to turn things around quite quickly. But maybe he wasn't expecting it yesterday. I'm not too sure. But I think it had to have been something about Havertz going up top and maybe changing Martinelli sooner than he did first half. I don't know, but that's the only thing that I can really think of.
I agree on the Havertz point. Sorry, Tabs. I agree on the Havertz, like a long ball, and then just have like I don't know, Declan Rice cleaning up that second ball. And then there was one, I think it only happened once, when our CB carried the ball and it actually created something, right? And that's another way. Okay, cool. You guys are not going to press us. I'm going to run. We have ball playing defenders. Let's utilize that. So, and I think, Tabs, you said this earlier, the fact that we don't have, I think we have the players, but we need that random Shirky type wild card vibe, right? Take on the man. But then the issue with that, it goes back to, if you do that, you become an Alexis Sanchez stats and you get dispossessed, and then you lose your structure, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah, but risk and reward, you know, and we'll get on to how do we fix this going forward. But on to your point, like, I don't have the midfielders, but yeah, I haven't verified this, but Havertz lost the ball 10 times, Gyökeres 12 times, Madueke 12 times, Martinelli 4 times. You talk about losing the ball and that ball security. We just didn't have it there. And in terms of carriers, I think Madueke only carried it 69 meters, Gyökeres 66 meters, Martinelli 33 meters. Like, he's a bloody, winger, and you're only carrying it 33 meters. I think, and Havertz maybe 111. I think, and in terms of ball carrying, I think there was one moment when Rice ran with it. Great. But so few and far between. But what I did want to ask about, the crowd got really frustrated about this, but I thought this was the right tactic for against Bournemouth, and that was trying to play it out from the back and bait the press, because there was plenty of times when it did work. Then all of a sudden we're running into space, and all of a sudden we've gone past 4 players and we're going to space. But I don't know, something seemed to be off yesterday that we just weren't able to execute it, and essentially it went, and then it eventually impacted Raya, and then there was that one where he completely sliced it. Zubimendi doing Zubimendi, even Gabriel's, and then as you said, the crowd get into it, and the crowd say, "What are you doing? Go long!" But then when we go long, no one's winning first balls, no one winning second balls. So basically, you can't. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. But I thought it was the right tactic, but just poorly executed against Bournemouth. The right tactic, because they had that. But what they also did. Yes, no, go on, carry. Well, no, as you got the final point, what was also did, they had 3 weeks off. We played 3 games since. They had all the energy in the world to do everything that they wanted, and then they can make subs and more energy. And so we were playing on fumes, they were playing full gas.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is the right tactic, Tibbs, but we don't have the technical security and to play that way. Like you go back 2 seasons ago, we had Zinchenko, Partey, Granit Xhaka, right? Elite players at building up, and that's why teams stopped pressing us from the front, and that's why they started banking up. But now teams have realised we don't have the elite technical security in the centre of the park to actually get out. Everything is cyclical, and everything is a response to what you do. And they have looked at Zubimendi and they have looked at Declan Rice as our pivot players. I 100% agree, Kuziva, on Saliba. I think there is more that could happen there in terms of ball carrying. But they've looked at our 2 centre mids and they're like, they don't have the technical ability to get out. And certainly without Calafiori there, we just don't have that kind of more maverick style. And I've said to you before, Tabs, the fact that we get our creativity and our license to roam from our left back is a major red flag for me. But that's kind of why it was the right tactic, but it didn't work. It's just, to me, it's quite a simple technical point. Like we just don't have. I mean, you're like Barcelona are incredibly lucky to have Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, but we don't have one player. Do you know what I mean? Like we need one of them. Like it's been I've always had a major concern with Declan Rice at lefty. I've not been overly vocal about it because he's a fantastic player, but I think in terms of look, I don't think we change anything now. Like I think we just need to try and get on with our fingernails. But I think moving forward, like I think we need another technical player in there because I love Zubimendi. I absolutely, I love his.
He's gone off the boil.
Arsenal, but he has, but he's never been that technical player. And now that he's lost his legs, we can't get like it's kind of been shown that we just can't build up from the back.
Well, I think he works well when we're playing well. Is when he's ones, when we're good, he's good type thing. But he's not going to be one that lifts up the team, sort of thing. And I think first season in the Premier League, I think he's fatiguing out of it, and maybe he's lacking in confidence, and so you say he's making mistakes. And also when we've got a clear structure, clear confident way of playing, he fundamentally helps with that. But you say about we can't change anything. Well, maybe we have to, because what we're doing at the moment isn't working. And the only thing I can think of is Rice at six. Sorry, Zubimendi, you have to step out. We have 2 8s. In there, we have to be a bit braver, because at the moment we've scored 5 goals in our last 5 games. There's that. Where's our next goal coming from? Out of play, and I don't know if that's a big enough sample size, but we're going sod the data here. I'm just going with my eyes here. At what point did you think we were scoring from open play yesterday? It was scraps. And the only goal we did get was a bit of variance from in the penalty area, and we get a penalty from it. But I think we put Rice at the number 6. He can wear his cape back there and cover everything and all the rest of it, and he can be that back. And we have 2 8s, you know, because look at what City do with, you know, I don't know, you got today they got Cherky, Rodri, and Silva, you know, so fine. We have Rice, Saka and Eze, or Ødegaard and Eze, or just have that technical security, and then you get someone Eze maybe a bit further forward who can do like play the pass into Guehi and that type of thing. I think this is where we've got to potentially change something because it's not working. At the moment, it's not fundamentally. You've got to, you know, a change is as good as a rest, as they say. We've got to try something different.
Yeah. So I do agree that I'm sorry, when I said we shouldn't change something, I meant ahead of next Sunday, ahead of the City game, because I don't think I do, like, as a principle and as a style of playing, kind of like I said, as moving to next season, 100%.
But what happened the last time we went to City and changed it, and no one expected Cazorla and Coquelin?
That's a great point. But I just don't think we have, like, the only way that I could think it would work this season is if you get Ødegaard back, you play him in the left 8 and you play Saka in the right 8 or Eze in the right 8, because I just don't think, you did mention players there, but I don't think Eze has the technical security to play left 8. I think he's fine right 8, but then if you're playing him right 8, are you okay with not having Declan Rice in the left 8? I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, we have Declan Rice at the 6. He's at the base. He's the one covering everyone at the 6.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Are you then okay with not having him in the left 8, being that first person?
Well, yes, because we got to change something up, do something different. You know, that's what I'd suggest maybe. Kuziva, would you reckon?
I feel the same way. You've asked me to give you a lineup, I think, 20 times this season, maybe, and maybe at least half of those times when I've asked for 2 creative technical players as our 8s. So I feel the same way. I think that's one thing that'll unlock us. Declan Rice, all you need to do now is just clean up, and you're good at that. No need to be marauding forward. Just stay back and clean up. That's what I hope to see. Maybe not against City, because I think we're probably shitting our pants and we're probably going to play for the draw. But at least for the last 4 or 5 games after that, let's attack. That's a simple thing.
Well, then fine. If you're playing for the draw, get Ødegaard in because. Zubimendi not even offering anything defensively. Look, we've let in the goal against Southampton switched off. Goal yesterday. I haven't looked back. I haven't been brave enough, so I might need some help with the goal. But he from what I remember, he was partly culpable for that. You know, so defensively he's not offering that, and he's not physically good defensively. So his skill is nipping in and getting there. But because he's fatiguing out this season, he's not. He's mentally slow, so he's not getting at the same pace. Fine. If we are going to go for the draw next week, and we'll talk about next week, midweek, but then fuck it, put Ødegaard in then. And because that's what, Ødegaard, go in, breaks things up, pass it to Rice or pass it to whoever, and then just stay there, kick people, whatever,
Someone find Rob Holding. I mean, that's who we need. We need the Rob Holding flat back 5 for next Sunday.
Well, anyway, I'll worry about next week. But in terms of how the game panned out, as I said, it just something felt off from the beginning, and it was I don't know, the first goal, it sort of it was a bit weird. It was just, I don't know, our right hand side was just sort of asleep. I think Madueke lost his man. I don't know what Ben White was doing. Okay, it got a bit of a deflection on the way through, and Krupi, and we talked about it, he's like their top scorer, 10 goals for a 19-year-old for Bournemouth is nuts, and he's there at the back post, and he did a fucking celebration in front of the North Bank, doing a little dance and all the rest. I was just so wishing that we'd just beat him because of that, because I was just that's cocky, and he got away with it.
Yeah, so wishing that we'd buy him maybe, because he looks like some fine for them. But it's a tough. Yeah. But was there a question?
No, great. It was just like that. It just seemed to be a bit of a poor goal to give away. But was anyone really that surprised either? Sort of and at least the crowd tried to get up. And look, we did try and respond. We got the penalty, and that was a great penalty. Yeah, and then. He hit it so high. I mean, the goalkeeper had hardly dived before it went in the back of the net, and it felt like, okay, back in the game and all the rest. You say, okay, fine, not brilliant, and we get to half time. you know, we know it's not been brilliant, but hey, can't be any worse, can it? So, and that's what, Kuziva, I saw you at halftime, and we were sort of bemoaning, okay, well, at least second half we'll just get better, and okay, we'll just about scrape a 2-1 win, and then I don't know, was the second half even worse than the first half?
I think it was, because I really thought that we would step up, and we simply just didn't. Just going back to your question earlier, did any of us think that we were going to score an open play? I just didn't feel that at all. So, yeah, a waste of sunlight in fucking London. Like, sunlight came out in the second half, and what a waste of just good sun.
It just felt, it just again felt like the occasion got to us, and that's when the errors really started. First half, didn't really see that, but second half, it was just don't know, just like Bournemouth seemed to look at us, and we was like, okay, what do I do with the ball? What do I do with the ball? And and that's it. And then they get their goal in the 74th minute. Again, I think another defensive mistake. I think it was Gabriel with a pass or something like that, but I can't remember. Then all of a sudden, Scott is sort of running in edge of the box and finishes it really nicely. He hit it well, and. So it was a bit like the Southampton player. I don't trust someone with a first name as a surname, and they go and score against us. So, and then did you think we were ever going to get back into it, Andy?
Genuinely, I actually did. Yeah, I thought I didn't think we were walking away from there. I don't know if call it blind delusion, but. I didn't think we were gonna get beat yesterday. Even in that, even like the 78th minute, because me and Moz had moved round from, we were kind of west stand upper, and we moved into the north bank for the second half, and where we were standing, so it had one of those TVs like kind of directly within your eye line. So I was watching the game, and then you'd look up and you'd watch the time ticking over, and I was like, there's still 15 minutes left. There's still 10 minutes left. And then when that chance fell to Gyökeres, I was just a bit like, oh, maybe not. But then even we kept going. We did like that. The thing that I took away from me, like the players, I don't think they've thrown the towel in. I've seen some things on Twitter, and I know that that's certainly not the barometer or the gauge, but they were like, oh, they're not playing for the manager, the dressing room's gone. I was like, that's total nonsense, because it was almost like they were trying too hard. It's like they were second guessing everything. They were trying too hard because they're probably just as desperate to get this monkey off the back as, if not more. And I kind of was like, I was almost like feeling that with them, and I was like, there's going to be a goal here. It's going to be not to draw like kind of parallels, but it's going to be like Bournemouth again.
Where was Reece Nelson when you needed him, for Christ's sake?
I didn't think we'd ever go on and win once we went 2-1 down, but I didn't think beat, and I think that's probably also why when we were saying earlier about how we felt walking away from the stadium, I was like, I thought we'd have something. Because we had, I think Max Dowman had a couple of decent moments dropping the ball in. When you see Gabriel going through with like 5 minutes to go, and I know. And then he gives away the foul, you're just like, it was like not death by 1,000 cuts, but it was like death by like 4 or 5 cuts, because as one goes away, I was looking up at the screen and I was like, there's 6 minutes left, and then there'd be another one, there's 3 minutes left, and we just eventually ran out of time, and I think just ran out of steam.
I think with the Bournemouth one, when we did win 3-2, the Reece Nelson moment, we were suffocating. We were building pressure, and it was momentum, pressure, and it was Partey, then Ben White, and so it sort of wasn't a surprise. But yes, there wasn't that consistent. Right, we are keeping them in their box. We're just not letting them out. They weren't going deep. They weren't sitting deeper and deeper, or a combination. I think we're just easy to play against. We're easy to nullify. I thought there's time to get a goal. Whether I could see it coming, I don't know. I don't remember the Gyökeres header, maybe because I had my head in my hands half the time. But I remember the Gabriel one. And stuff like that. But I just never felt we were just sort of really like building that pressure, building, corner after corner, chance after chance. It just seemed to be the odd thing here and there, and I think they sort of were holding us relatively comfortable, which a lot of teams seem to be seem to be doing at the moment. So just couldn't do it. Just couldn't get it over the line. Any sort of players that stood out in a positive way or in a negative way for you, Kuziva?
I agree with Andy, and I think you also mentioned that Gyökeres, he had a good game. He tried. He really did try.
Well, the bar is very low now.
This is where we are, right? This is actually where we are. I can't think of anyone else, because our best defenders, who we arguably say are the best defenders in the world, best centre back player in the world, not, just they didn't step up yesterday. Ben White had some ups and downs, but I think going back to your point around 3 games in a row, it's going to probably affect him quite a bit. There's no one else. There's actually no one else besides Gyökeres. And Kai, I'm a massive Kai Havertz fan, but Jesus Christ, I thought he was going to get hooked in the first 40 minutes because of how terribly he started the game.
Yeah, there was that one pass when I think Gyökeres came through and he just couldn't. Just I don't know what he was thinking. He just he was trying to play it out and he just went straight to the defender and come on.
But besides that guy, no one else. I don't know if you got anyone else that you can do.
No, I thought Rice tried to put his cape on, and I think he was trying too hard, so he was trying to do everything to cover up for everyone else, and maybe he doesn't focus his role, or his heat map against I think it was Sporting was just incredible, and it was I think. Again, maybe need to refocus a bit. He's got the energy to call him the horse, whatever. But maybe again, I think it was that trying too hard thing. But I think he lacked support. He had that one shot. I don't know if it was going in or not, but he had the one chance. So he was definitely trying too hard. And look, Martinelli, what is it? Every time plays well as a sub, comes on and starts, and quiet game does nothing. It's just a perennial thing. So
I think both of their fullbacks, I mean, our wingers weren't good, but both of their fullbacks were really good yesterday, I thought. I know that Alex Jimenez is a good player, so I was always a wee bit kind of slightly concerned when I seen Martinelli on the left, because I would just prefer Trossard against that kind of player. But I was actually, although I don't like the Madueke, Gyökeres, Martinelli, I was quite hopeful of Madueke against that Truffaut guy, because he seemed to have him on toast in the first game where we when was it, December or January?
January.
I'm quite hopeful for that, but I thought Truffaut, both against Madueke and then Downman when he came on, he was right in at them. He wasn't letting them turn. He was right in. He was putting pressure. You could see him kind of pushing without giving away the foul. It was kind of one of those right on the line of being a foul or not. And I think he probably should have got booked in the first half. Didn't got booked in the second half. So if he gets booked in the first half, he can't do that. Maybe we get a little bit more joy. But yeah, I thought their kind of midfield and their fullbacks especially were really, really good yesterday.
So how worried are you for the rest of the season?
So I'm with you guys. I actually still think we will win it. I do. I think City are too inconsistent, and I just don't trust them. I think they've got some difficult fixtures still to come, and I think, I'm not going to say jumping off point again, but we've got it within our hands to go there next Sunday, and we don't even need to win, just draw. But what I'm more worried about, Tabs, is, how do you put this?
West Ham away. I'm joking.
So the Arteta,
they're playing better. They're playing better than us at the moment. So every game is.
It's so the Arteta project for me has always kind of traded on this connection point, and it's always been a connection with the fans, and the players seem to have connected a lot better together. And it was almost kind of like the selling point of the whole project, because we were in such a dire straits when he came in that December. The kind of energy and the togetherness that he brought has been such a hallmark of his managerial tenure. But I don't know. I'm a bit concerned that things are slightly starting to slip a wee bit between the fans and the team, but also the players. There was a few times yesterday in that first half, especially. I kind of couldn't see it as well in the second half because of where we moved to. There was a point where Gyökeres was berating Zubimendi. Madueke was kind of throwing his arms up at passes from Raya. Havertz was having a bad performance, but he was also just falling to the ground trying to win fouls, and I'm like, to me, those sorts of things are not the non-negotiables that Arteta kind of instilled in all of these players when he came in. And I think in terms of the fans and the you heard boos at the end of the game, and I know
what did you think of that? What did you think of the boos? I don't think we deserve boo.
No, I certainly wouldn't do it. I wasn't booing, but I can't ever judge someone for, like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of your point earlier. Everyone spends all this money and puts all this emotional investment into this team, and when you are told to bring the noise and bring your lunch, and there's fucking pyrotechnics,
and you serve that pile of shit up, you're not going to boo if you put that in front of me, yeah.
And I'm like, you're bringing pickpockets into pre-season and playing You Never Walk Alone before we go to thingy last season, and you've got Win the Dog, and you've got all this thing. It's like, right, fans, you need to do this. Like, there wasn't pyrotechnics yesterday, but I feel like 7 or 8 games, home games I've been to this season, there's been a light show and pyrotechnics, and I'm like, we don't need to treat every single game as a Champions League semi-final. But like, when you do that, and you kind of, you can't.
You're risky.
Yeah, you kind of like you're kind of bringing it on yourself a wee bit, because you're getting people so riled up, and I think it's good. I genuinely think the fans should be there to G on the team, but then when the team don't do their part,
I think it's up to the team to bring we'll respond to the team, not the other way around. But I like your point yesterday. I did make a note of it, but I forgot to. But yeah, there was a lot more gesticulation, and I'm not saying like me with my hands left like that, left, right, and centre. There was a lot of like, there was a lot of disconnection there, and a lot of, well, that was your fault. I don't know what they're saying, but there was a lot of shrugging of shoulders, or what was that all about? And I've not seen that in this team for a long time. It's not under Arteta, at least, or not since maybe at the beginning.
And I don't want to go too hard on that, because it's like it's a point. It's one game.
No, but it's a thing. It's noticeable.
Yeah, but it's the first time. It's the first time I've noticed it. But if that continues, then that is a serious kind of point of concern, of worry for me, because that is back to kind of the Emery days when you had like Guendouzi and stuff. And I don't think that'll happen, to be fair. I think it is just it's a point in time where everyone is under an incredible amount of pressure to deliver something that we've kind of been set up to deliver from the start of the season. But yeah, I think, to be honest, I hope to God we get through next week, and then we can begin to put in place the kind of tactical or structural or player changes that gets us through the 5 games after that, by potentially 2-8s or whatever it is. We get Saka back, we get Timber back. But I just hope that we don't, in the process of this end to the season, I just hope that we don't lose that connection that we had, because the toxicity around the club ages ago was horrible, and the last kind of 2, 3, 4 years have been there's been ups and downs, but it's mostly been ups, and it's been a really enjoyable experience, and I just hope that we don't lose that.
What are you most concerned about for the rest of the season, Kuziva?
Thank you so much for saying that, Andy, because I hadn't thought about it. I mean, I actually said it when we lost the Carabao Cup final. I was like, oof, the fans they're not gonna like this. But pointing out yesterday and how the players are reacting to each other on the pitch, we've never seen this. I am worried about that. I know fans, especially like London fans, we are up and down. We're not always happy and excited. So we react as Tab said. But I'm worried that's definitely going to affect the team a bit more. So that's one thing. The other thing, and I said this is the 3rd time now, I need Arteta to learn, like, dude, call McKenzie and say, hey guys, I need new tactics for the last few games. Like, let's figure this shit out. We need to figure it out, because we have coasted by with the safety mindset, this pragmatic mindset, which I feel like he did it because he saw Jose win. You've seen Conte win. It's a tried and tested formula. Greece fucking won a Euro through just being really negative. But something has to change, and I think the manager is that person. Like, give people a bit more freedom. Like, the Eze's, who else? I don't know. But yeah, my worry is I need Arteta to switch it up. And then also the fact that we have 3 London derbies at the end of the season. Only one of them is away, but the away game is against a team that's fighting relegation.
Palace isn't a London derby. Come on.
Yeah.
No one cares. They're more there's fine. No, yeah.
So, let's see.
The benefit is that we're not leaving London on that one, but
We've got West Ham.
Yeah, we got West Ham way. That's fine. Well, yeah. Oh God. Anyway, we'll worry about that. I mean, my concern that look, if we continue like this, we're not winning anything. We're not winning the league. The Champions League is weird. It's lots of one-off games that shit can happen in any of those games and things like it's cup competition and so on. But in the league, if we continue our form and City continue their form, it's only going in one direction. So it is really not steadying the ship, doing a massive U-turn on that ship. So that's my biggest concern. And maybe we have bottomed out. Maybe in order for things to go better, you've got to get right to the bottom to go back up. And we have some contingency which is now gone to reach this point. And look, it could all this time next week, it could all be very indifferent. And we're going, oh wow, okay, this is now the time to move on. But at the moment, it does feel relatively sort of, not bleak. Again, it's in our hands. But if we don't change something not drastic, if something doesn't click, something change, start scoring goals, someone doing something, it for me, unfortunately, is only going one direction. But we're still in a position to change that. And look, my final thing before we get onto 3-word reviews and very quickly on Lisbon, and I sort of thought about this, and maybe it is a reason or something. But do you think we've actually been too good this season? And I mean this from a point of view that we've been good enough to compete on 4 fronts and go far in 4 competitions. Do you potentially see that has been an issue and maybe we haven't prioritised better? And the one example I take is look at how certain European teams take the league phase. You know, the English clubs are so excited to be there in a way. They go for it and they want to win it. Whereas, you know, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, PSG, just do enough to get through, and maybe we could manage that better. So yeah, it's great. We won all 8 games, unbeaten, top, and there are benefits to that. But do you think going far in all 4 competitions is potentially costing us?
Yeah.
Sorry, Kuziva.
No worries. My dad said this to me after the Carabao Cup final. He's like, we shouldn't have gone for all of these titles. And yeah, we are feeling the pain now. I'm actually in the background. I've been looking at all our stats against the top European sides and minutes played, and our players on average have played more minutes than everyone else because we everywhere and we're not really rotating that much. Over and above that, Subamendi has played the most across all the top teams, and we're not just playing minutes. We are playing an intense game where everyone has to defend, everyone has to attack. And we're feeling it. Like April is back, and I just hope it doesn't mess us up when we play Porto.
Sporting. Andy, do you think we've been too good this season? It's sort of a bit of a loaded question, but you understand the point I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think there's slightly like. I think it's
stop complaining.
Yeah, I think it's slightly revisionist. I think. Take us back 3 weeks ago and we would be saying that thing. I think your point around the Champions League and like Bayern, Barca, PSG, all those, like I just don't. I can't compare us against them because they don't need to turn up until February. They don't really need to do anything. Like Barca and Real Madrid just need to make sure they kind of roughly match each other's results. Bayern, I mean, they only have 3 competitions and they don't need to really turn up until February. Like I said, PSG, even worse. If we're not on it in August, like, do you know what I mean? We're going to be 4 or 5 points behind. You've seen what happened last year when we had a slow start. So we need to be on it from the get-go, as do all Premier League teams. Otherwise, look what happened to Liverpool this season. They had a decent start, a rocky time, and then they were out of the title race by like December. So I just think it's a quirk of being in the Premier League, and that's probably why you've seen, like, I think that's what we even said back in January when we were saying, "Oh, look at all the Premier League teams in that top 8 of the Champions League." We're like, well, it's because they're kind of almost primed to they're primed to start their season so early, whereas the other kind of European teams slowly build into the season. And the only way you get around that is bigger squads and more players, or less games, I suppose. But that's not going to happen. So but I think we've kind of danced around it. The only other kind of thing is a change in play style where you because we seem to be like, we try and conserve energy and then we win 1 or 2-0 or 2-1 or 3-0 or whatever. Like, sorry, not 3-0, but it's kind of low margin games. The only kind of way that you potentially do something different is you go back to that 22-23 model if you can, be a bit more technically secure, go for teams earlier on and then rest players. So that you're not, because not only do you then not have the physical exertion of having to go for games for 90 minutes or at least defend tight leads for 90 minutes, you have the mental rest as well, because you're 4-0 up and you're like, do you know what, Max Dowman, there's 40 minutes. There's Salmon, there's 40 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, ideal. That's ideal state stuff. But I think 3 weeks ago we wouldn't be saying that sort of thing. So I think we just need to go for all four. Do you know what I mean? When we're in, we need to play it one. Yeah,
look. I'm sure this isn't the position Arteta wants us to be in. It's a form thing. I'm sure it's not something specific, because I said we were a very good team at the beginning of the season. We scored the most goals. We were top of the league, loads of points. So I think at the moment, I think there is some fatiguing out. I think the inconsistencies and injuries aren't helping. But I think primarily when you're seeing out there are just players that are just playing badly at the moment. If our players play to their ability, we don't lose. We don't lose to Bournemouth. Okay, Southampton can happen, whatever. We don't lose to Bournemouth. So there we are. Anyway, go on to the 3-word reviews, and sort of these give a bit of a sense of a feel how everyone out there is listening in just a pithy 3-word comment. But I think the sentiment is quite it's quite apt a lot of the time. On Blue Sky, going Steph Metal from the North Bank pod, and he's starting with a bit more of a positive note. It's a test of faith at the moment, which is quite right. Then we move on to the less so ones. Andrew go, this is depressing. Jackie, we look scared. Greg, must win game lost. Michael Sheehy, absolutely fucking awful. Mr. C, the Gooner, inexcusably awful performance. And then Hans Lejeune, instead of sending me a 3-word review, he just sent me a GIF of a very floppy cannon, so a very limp cannon. And AFC Pizza Chef, fuck this shit. I agree. I agree with all of the above. On Threads, really fucking pathetic. This was less positive. Danny Mast, pathetic, shambolic, worrying. Paperbike says it's been worse. I guess it has. It's always been worse, but there's always times where it's been worse. But it doesn't feel like it at the moment. What else we got? Oh, Paul Latham, Dignity 18, with his play on words. Cherries popped Arsenal. Okay, and then what else we got here? Oh, we had one. We had one in Malay. Penat Jadi fan, which translated means tired of being a fan, and I can understand that sentiment, because I was just thinking this season has just been exhausting. This is like the most just sort of like, I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm tired of this. Can we not just win it and get on with it? On TikTok, Leo406738, absolutely bloody crap. I like this one. I think this was one of my favourites. Nom are bond. Barn doors are safe. So yes, there we go. Dubs for Sam on X. Players fucking hid. I think there was some aspect of that yesterday. And then we had Andy Leach every fucking season.
Wait, that was at my most impressionable walk along Holloway Road. I was like,
this is me asking for the 3-word reviews instantly after the game, which was responded with by Normie going, go away, Tabs. And then all these hopeful Rahima rooting for Chelsea. Terry, Chelsea. Both of you wash your mouths out. No, Mickey D watching the Masters. Fraser, cherry is popped, and Sensi, whose head is gone. So thank you for everyone sending those in. Appreciate it, and I think it sums everyone's feelings up quite aptly. So, and look, just as a reminder before we get on with a very quick sporting review, as always, if you're enjoying the pod, please leave us a nice little rating, subscribe on the podcast apps, on YouTube channel, at the Grow AFC on Apple, on Spotify. We do notice it does help, and we really appreciate it if you've done it, and if you haven't, why not? So thank you for that. Right, sporting. Wednesday evening, 1-0 up from the first leg. Andy, what are you looking forward to and not looking forward to?
Right in the wrongs of yesterday, I think. Kind of different competition. Hopefully, get our friend Gabriel Martinelli back, because that seems to be the only competition under the lights, after that Champions League music, where he seems to be able to, add even a slight bit of threat. But no, honestly, on a more serious note, just I guess, still, like, you think about Tuesday, and then although City won today, there is still so much to play for in this season. We're sitting here now, I'm pretty down in the dumps, but we could be sitting here in 6 weeks' time from the most generational Arsenal season ever. It would have been incredibly hard fought. It would have been incredibly tiresome to get over the line. But I think it's just another game where we can turn up, and it won't be about proving ourselves this time, because that, for me anyway, that can only really come on Sunday. But it's just a chance to get. Hopefully, we can get a few minutes into the legs of Saka and Timber. If they weren't miles away from last Tuesday, then they won't be miles away from this Wednesday. So get some minutes into their legs. Maybe try a few things different. Probably not, because it is City on Sunday. But yeah, get a few minutes into those legs and hopefully get those players back for Sunday.
Kuziva?
Looking forward to seeing some changes. I hope he starts tinkering with his team. And just to win, let's get it over the line. Who's next in that championship? It should be... Oh, did you guys see Atletico Madrid rested the entire starting 11? It could be them. What I'm not looking forward to is just no change in, I guess, mentality from what we saw this past weekend. I want the players to see this past game as a failure and say, okay, cool, failing is a part of life. Let's build on, let's grow. So, yeah, I don't want to see this become now the trend of April, because currently we are on trend.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's been sort of on trend since January, to be honest. We've sort of hand-waved some of the poor performances because it's all about getting results. Some chickens are coming home to roost. So, but let's see. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to more of the same. So, we'll skip that bit. In terms of looking forward to, I think you've both touched it. It's not the Premier League. We're 1-0 up. We can go into it fairly confident. It is the Champions League. Sporting can be dangerous, but but even them, if they've done all the things about what the Portuguese league is like, it's like, Championship League One level, and I'm sure if you put Bournemouth in the Portuguese league, they'd be near the top of that. So we shouldn't have anything to fear. Yes, they've got I think their captain back. They've got a decent centre forward, but we're at home. We're 1-0 up. And look, this is a chance. Oh God, tell them nothing. Tell them it's a friendly, because then we'll play well. Because if you tell them it's a chance for only the second, to get to back-to-back semi-finals, which is something that Arsenal have never done in the Champions League or European Cup. If we tell the players that, they'll be going shitting themselves, and God knows what's going to happen. So just tell them it's a friendly. Doesn't matter. Anything goes. Let's see what happens. But we'll be there again, Champions League. So let's I'm looking forward to us just getting the job done, and not what happened last time we played Porto, where they scored on the halfway line and then knocked us out on penalties. And cannot be doing with extra time and penalties. Just get the job done, whatever you do. So look, I'm not going to go in terms of the approach and the team. Who knows? Who knows? Just get a Scrabble bag, put names of players in it, and pull 11 out, and that's your 11. Because who knows who's fit, who's not fit, what is going to change. So other than Raya going in goal, it's going to be a tough one to say. I mean, of the ones that you think that maybe would you start Gyökeres over Havertz, and would you drop Zubimendi?
Me?
Anyone? Anyone.
Yeah. So I would start Gyökeres because I would start Havertz on Sunday. I think we're going to need to get out on Sunday. And yeah, Gyökeres can't hold the ball up. So I would start Gyökeres. Ideally, we'd see either. I don't think it's funny because every lineup decision for Wednesday is just with an eye on Sunday. If Timber's not going to be fit, I would play Mosquera at right back, and that's because I probably would play Mosquera at right back at the Etihad. I don't want to see Ben White. Actually, well, to be fair, Ben White did play quite well against Dortmund in the cup final, but. Yeah, I think I would play Ødegaard. I would give Zubimendi a rest. I think Zubimendi will play on Sunday, but I think if we can just give him a breather, get him out of the limelight a little bit, then that might give him an extra 1 or 2%. And we can take it. We need all we can take at this point. I'd love to see Bukayo Saka back in that. Kind of. Not starting 11. I don't think he might. I don't think he would start. But if we see him on the bench and get him on for 30-35 minutes, that would give me a serious confidence boost going into Sunday, because he's one of those players that does have the technical security to be able to, you fizz the ball into him and he gets you up the park. So that's kind of one of the issues we had yesterday. And I think if you have either Ødegaard or Saka yesterday, I think we probably do get out the press a little bit easier. So yeah, if we can have one of Ødegaard or Saka, or ideally both back, that would certainly make my
it'll be interesting to see who starts. But yeah, I think you're right. We will have Sunday. I mean, this is the thing. It's a massive opportunity to get to the semi. It seems like we're forgetting the opportunity that we have at hand. We're dismissing it. I think a lot of people dismiss the Bournemouth game because everyone's so focused on Man City away next week that the Bournemouth game was sort of an afterthought. We're 1-0 up from the first leg. I mean, you know, I'm sure in the club they won't be thinking that. But yeah, how much do you think of the Man City game with that chance to get to the semi-final of the Champions League, which we've only, you know, everyone's taken for granted. Like, you know, our progression has been great. So, you know, round of 16 and now quarterfinals and now semi-finals. So, you know, and this is where we should be. But it's not like we've been doing it for years after years after years, sort of thing. So this is a big opportunity here. I mean, yeah, how strong do we go? I mean, I think like you're saying, I think players are coming back from injury. We have them for half an hour at the end, irrespective of, you know, we need them or don't. You have to give them their minutes. Starting them may be a bit tricky. I think maybe Eza starts, because if he came on, Eza starts. Rice and maybe Ødegaard, but who knows? How strong would you go with City in mind, Kuziva?
I mean, you raise really good points, and yeah, it's a semi-final. We've never actually won the Champions League. It's a random cup competitions. You could randomly just nick it at the end, unless you're Inter Milan getting rocked 4-1 in the final.
Oh God, should have been us.
So I think we go in with your strongest side of people who are fit, and then rotate for the City game, because that's why we have a squad. That's why we have a squad, right? Obviously the City game is massive, but guys, this is also a massive. This is a massive.
Yeah.
And we are 4 games away from a final.
3 games away from a final.
3 games away from a final, actually. Yeah. So yeah, let's do what we can with the fit players that we have, and definitely if Ødegaard or Saka are back, they should play 30 minutes at least.
Yeah. Okay. And look, in terms of Sporting, look, there's not much to say. We know about them. You know, they won their last game against some tin pot club, and I don't know who they are, where they play, but whatever. But they have got a big game against Benfica at the weekend. But again, a bit like us, you know, they'll be focusing 100% on this, and a massive opportunity for them, you know, as well. I mean, in the Portuguese league, they're 2 points behind Porto, but you know, having won, you know, the Portuguese league numerous times in last season, you know, sort of thing. I think this is where they will go massively strong. I don't think they'll worry too much about Benfica at home. So yeah, they can cause us problems, but with our 1-0 lead, we should have more than enough of them. Having seen what we've seen from them, we should have more than enough. It's just which Arsenal team's turning up? Which Arsenal's turning up? So,
and after yesterday, thank God we have that 1-0 lead, by the way, because it only came in the last couple of minutes. But imagine it was 0-0 and we had we knew that they were going to come up and double bang against us with City, with knowing that we then lost yesterday and have to go to City and get a point. Like,
you'd think if we go 1-0 up, that should be it.
Yeah,
you can't see them winning 2-1. That would be 1-0 up. Yeah, if we just go all out just to get that 1-0, and that really sets them on the back foot. So so what we're going, what's your prediction other than pain? But Andy, what's your prediction?
I think we'll win 2-0.
2-0. Kuziva?
My third time, I'm going to say 1-1. But it's fine. We'll
really?
Win on aggregates. Wow. I'll take it.
Fuck! I'm not doing 1-1. Come on. Jesus Christ. You're taking this mental strength thing way too far.
No. I'm gutted. Like, it's tough. The whole thing that I've been saying we're going to win 2-1. My supercomputer still says we're going to win. But we'll get through. We'll get through it. Okay. And that's all that matters at this stage.
Okay. All right, I'm with you, Andy. I'm thinking 2-0. I think we go in there, get 1-0 up, and 2-0 should be fine, and then we can rotate for the last 30. Any preference on Barca or Atleti in the semi if we get through? Touching for Micah, Andy?
No, actually, I don't. We've already hammered Atletico Madrid this season, but they are.
We're not that team.
The Arsenal team that played Atletico Madrid is not the team that we've got now. I think I'd rather play Atletico Madrid, to be honest. Like, I think the star quality that Barcelona have mean that they can do something. I don't know. I probably would rather play Barcelona with that.
You're useless. Go, Kuziva. What do you think?
I think I prefer Barcelona. I think Diego Simeone, he can shithouse a lot of things. Barcelona, their defense, you are absolutely right, Andy. Like, they have special players up front. Yamal could roast anyone he plays against, but their defense is not great. It's really just, it's not good enough. For real.
Have you seen our attack lately?
We'll figure it out.
Like the Pedri, Frankie De Jong would just have us running in circles, and I honestly don't know what the answer is to that question, Tabs.
Look, it's looking well. It's Atleti's to lose. They're 2-0 up. They're playing at home. You see Simeone can shithouse them, but Barca can go and spank 7 goals like they did against Newcastle. So it's a tough one. I at our best, I'd rather play Barcelona, and I think Mitch said a good thing earlier when we talked about it the other day. It was like, we owe Barcelona from 2006, and we just want to get one over Barcelona. So for the narrative, I think playing Barcelona would be quite good. Arsenal, Barcelona, it's a bigger game than Arsenal Atleti. We've played them already. Yes, there is the opportunity there to exploit them if we're on form. Otherwise, I fear Atleti, even though Alvarez is good, Silvos can get goals. I think we should beat Atleti, all the rest of it. So, I don't even know the answer to my own question, so I'll go for Atleti.
It's funny you say that, because last year we played PSG. We beat PSG. And we're like, we're meeting PSG in the semi-final. And then PSG beat us in the semi-final. So, I don't know. I feel like they're going to have a chip on their shoulder also. After we beat them thoroughly, right? So, anyways, it doesn't matter. We're not there yet.
But all I want is lots of red cards. So Yamal get a red card and Alvarez red card. I just want it to turn into a big fight and loads of red cards, so they don't play against whoever we play. They don't play against us, and that's what I hope happens as a result. So there we go. Right. Wow, geez, I was not expecting to get 90 minutes out of today. So thank you guys for joining me. I feel better, but I don't feel better about Arsenal. There you go. So that's where I'm at. So thank you, Andy.
No problem, my friend. Always a pleasure. I do actually feel better as well. That's one of the benefits of speaking to you guys. So thank you very much.
Okay, good. And thank you, Kuziva.
No worries. It's good to be back.
Good. And you were feeling fine anyway, so there we go. I was hoping. Do you feel worse now, having spoken to us?
Yeah, I do. fine. This is processing, right? I appreciate it, guys. It's healthy.
It's healthy. Very good. It's good to talk, as they say. Right. Anyway, so the next pod will be post-sporting pre-Man City. As I said, if you like what you hear, please help out by subscribing, liking, commenting. 5-star rating at The Grove AFC, wherever you see us on our podcast feed, YouTube channel, TikTok, X, Blue Sky, Threads, blah, 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 blah. If you can do that, thank you very much. Thank you for listening. I hope you feel better, whether it's about Arsenal or not. It is still in our hands. It is far from over. There's always going to be twists and turns. So please, we've done the twist. Now, Man City, you do your turn. And yeah, I appreciate that you may not think on the surface things are looking great, but let's see. Still 6 games to go. And until the next time, come on, you Gunners.